What is up, everybody? It is Odin here, once again, making a video on a Sunday, which is my thing, my want. And this one will be the very last Sunday video, at least the last one in Spokane, as I'm leaving. I'm all packed up, pretty much ready to go. Got my computer still here, got my desk still here. Once I'm done with this video, those will be packed up. As you can see, I'm no longer trying to conquer the world. The map is gone because enough people told me that I should take it with me when I move. So the map is going with me. Yeah, everything's pretty much ready. Everything's pretty much cleaned up. I have a bunch of shit to do tomorrow morning, like getting a U-Haul. So I decided not to take my truck. I sold it to a friend. They were in need of a truck, her and her husband, and I was wanting to bless him. I gave him a screaming deal on one of my favorite possessions at this point in my life, but there were several reasons why it made sense, not the least of which was I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to fit it all in the truck and the car. So I had to get a U-Haul tomorrow and a car dolly. I have some people coming by to take all the shit away, all the garbage, all the donation stuff. So, and then I got to do a little bit more cleaning. I was doing all kinds of mad cleaning today. But I always leave a place as nice as I possibly can when I leave. And then I'll hit the road either tomorrow. It'd be nice to hit the road tomorrow, but it'll be late by the time I get ready to, so I'm not sure. Either tomorrow or one more night here and leave Tuesday. We will see. Either way, I have time to make this trek. I want to get in Springfield Saturday, so that gives me 6 days from now. 5 days more or less, but could easily do this drive in 3 days, but I want to stop in Colorado for a little bit, see some family while I'm there. So yeah, that's what's going on in personal news. Personal news, I've been seeing some friends around here. There's a few that like hit me up and I can't want to see you before you leave, and I'm like, yeah, you just tell me when and where, and then never hear anything back. So I'm like, you miss your window. I mean, what can I tell you? So but I have been seeing a lot of friends. Last night went out karaoke, my last night at the Star Bar, which has been a big part of my life at different phases. Going there and singing karaoke, having some drinks, having some laughs, whatever. So that was kind of fun. Last hurrah. And I've been making a tour of tastes, all these like restaurants around the area that I was like, been meaning to check out. I'm like, yeah, check them out now. So been trying out some different restaurants that have been pretty good. And then some that I knew I would just miss that aren't going to be in other places. So that's what's going on there. Yeah, big news for me, but the world still spins as it is. But I'll probably do some, I don't know, I'll probably try to do some driving and singing videos, which I haven't done in forever. Just because I got really into like writing and coming up with melodies for Kill Them Dead. So then whenever I was in the car, I was always practicing that. And so I wasn't doing driving and singing videos. I think that was my main reason for not doing it. I don't know. But as I'll be driving a U-Haul, I'll have plenty of time for sure. But I'm like, just because I have the time, is the U-Haul set up to where, I can actually do that? Who knows? We'll find out. Well, plenty of time on the road, so. But I'll probably make some posts, maybe a video or two during my journey. Who knows? Because I'm sure I'm going to get massively bored just driving across country by myself. Let's see. Working on Shove Volume 2. I mean, I'm not really working on it. I had all this stuff kind of sort of put away. It's in a big art backpack thing that I got, and I was like, oh shit, if I'm gonna make a video, I always have like a side-by-side with an image, and so I was like, well, I'll throw this up as the last thing I was working on. I didn't get nearly as far as I wanted to. I've been too busy with moving and shit. But we could show you, like, preceded by this page, which is preceded by this page. One of my favorites. So yeah, all for Unconditional Shove Volume 2. So the word on Unconditional Shove Volume 1, I did put an update on the campaign page, which would send an email to everybody who backed or was following it, and explaining that everything's ready to go. It's all printed, but because of the timing of my move, it didn't make sense to ship everything to me, and it probably wouldn't. I probably would have been had to have left before the shipment got here. Then it would be here. I'd have to have it forwarded. There's all kinds of it's just like. So James and I talked about it. He's going to fulfill most of it out of Canada, where the books are printing anyway. So it's not that big a deal. He has pretty good prices for almost all international shipping, so that's a good thing. And so we're not going to eat our ass on that, but also he wouldn't have to ship that giant bulk of books to me to fulfill in the States, because most of them were from the United States, which is a very expensive shipment in itself. So nonetheless, it made sense. There's only a few that I'm having him ship to my new Missouri address, and those ones are people that really wanted a signature or a personalized thing. You know, some people insisted on it and even reached out to me to let me know they wanted that, because I didn't offer it and I wasn't planning to sign the books. I don't know, but a lot of people want you to, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'm kind of indifferent about signatures, but there are definitely people mostly people who aren't necessarily comic book fans or close to me. They're like, I want you to personalize it. This is like your thing, and I'm happy to do that. But anyway, they're gonna just have to wait longer to get their books, which is fine. I think with everything, everyone's had to have some patience, and I appreciate everyone's patience through this whole process. For one, personally, I've never done it before. I've helped James out with Magnificent Bastards, but even as a company, it's only our second book, so we're learning a lot. Learning that we probably should start printing out of the U.S. That's one thing we're learning too. Even though we really like the quality and the person we have printing, it might be the way to go going forward. Nonetheless, that's where everything's at with that. Everything's ready to go. All of it looks beautiful. Everybody who was a pre-sign up is going to be getting... Oh, my camera fucked up. Getting the trading card set. Which is pretty cool. And the Skunk Artworks, I packed that up. The Skunk Artworks print. Yeah, everything's gone. I have a little box here to load all the random miscellaneous crap off of my desk and around my computer, where my bookcase used to be. The map used to be there. And yeah, when I'm done with this video, I'll be tearing everything down here. I'm gonna leave my computer on. That's gonna be the very last thing. That's always the very last thing to go. But I won't need the desk anymore after this, and that'll clean everything out of here. And then the last thing is the bed, which I don't know if I'm bringing or not. I kind of want to just donate it and get a new one, but I don't know if I'll get the bed out in time for the donation people. Actually, I don't donate beds. I would toss it. Beds are kind of, I don't know. Even if other people would be fine with a donated bed, I wouldn't be fine giving away a donated bed. So all the beds are going to the dump, because I just don't have room. I might have room for that one. Anyhow, let's all just ramble talk. What else is going on? Oh. Kill Them Dead. We're launching on September 30th, and very excited for that. Trying to make a big launch out of it. We've got Skunk Artworks my dear friend Sebastian, and co-owner of Broken Compass Entertainment, drawing these amazing sketches of characters from the book. And he's got several. I don't know how many. He's got a few. And he's like, we could just give these away on the launch day. The guy is he's not attached to his original art. He likes to sell it or give it away, you know. So I'm not going to complain. I think that's awesome. I'm somewhat like that. Like, I'm like, I'll draw something new. I could get rid of art. But with the pages from the book, I'm like, you know, it's cool that people wanted original art. And those all went out, by the way, separate from the books. It's cool that people wanted original art. But there's a part of me that's like, this is the first thing I've ever made, you know? I want all the images. But then the other side of me is like, it's 82 pages, Unconditional Shove, plus Cole's story, which I'm not giving those away. And you could part with one or two. So, and obviously I let people choose, so obviously like some of the best ones are what disappeared, which I'm fine with. I think it's really cool that people would pay for it. So that's why I'm like, yeah, I'll gladly ship it out. But it would be kind of nice to have all those originals as well. But it is what it is. I wanted to, you know, make some more money, and I also wanted to see if there were people that would want original art. So anyway, yeah, we got a big long road trip coming up, and after I'm done with this video, wrapping some shit up around here. But before I do that, let's go to the next Red Dwarf episode, and we'll trudge along through these because there's a lot of them, and someday I'll finish. We're on Season 2, Episode 2, an episode called Better Than Life. And another one of my favorites. This episode adds a lot to the Red Dwarf mythos, as it were. You learn a little bit more about Rimmer and his psychosis. It's more or less a Rimmer episode, I would say. Even though Kat and Lister have a whole bunch to do in it. So, as always, the first two seasons have the same intro. The guy painting the ship, the long shot of the ship, flying away from you, the Red Dwarf, and the episode title, Better Than Life. And start with Holly and his joke. I can't remember what the joke is. Well, first the SOS distress call, and then the joke. So, the show begins with, well, you see a little pod, like, chasing the ship down. Lister drinking, milk of magnesia, something for his upset stomach, because apparently Rimmer is trying to cook, but he's a hologram, so he has the Scudders cook for him, and apparently it tasted like shit, so Rimmer's complaining about what he just ate. And Rimmer going off about, well, it's hard because I'm a hologram, and, you know, life is a hologram, I can't touch or feel anything. And then Lister's like, that's all you ever talk about is how hard it is being a hologram. You know, it's giving him a little pep talk, I guess. But the show continues with the pod that was chasing them was a male pod that's been in pursuit of them for a long time. So they finally get in this pod with all kinds of mail. With Holly going, hey, guess what? And they're like, we don't know. And he's like, no, just guess. No, can you give us clues? No clues, just guess. He's like, told you wouldn't be able to guess it. Anyway, the Scudders are John Wayne fans, by the way. And video cassettes in the future are triangular shaped for whatever reason. I don't know, in some ways that seems like it might make sense, but in other ways it seems retarded. But so Lister's finding all this stuff that's exciting him. They find this video game called Better Than Life, and he says these were so hard to come by. It's an immersive, in your brain technology where it really feels like you're in the game. Beyond VR. It's like electrodes into your head, so it's like a dream. We also find out that Holly has been playing chess with another ship computer who seems like a very unintelligent chap. And Holly's like, no, he's got an IQ of 10,000, you know, or something like that. But so he says, like, pawn to king 4 or whatever, and he goes, wow, he's a sly one. And they're like, well, who's winning? Well, he has. That's the first move. Anyway, going through, Lister's got a whole bunch of letters. Rimmer doesn't have a whole lot. And Rimmer's getting kind of jaded about it and talking shit. Lister finds one from Outland Revenue, which is basically IRS to us Americans. I don't know if Outland Revenue is an English thing, but basically the IRS. It says that, and he opens it, and Lister gets kind of giddy, like, oh, you owe taxes, and he's like, it's not me, it's you, and you owe like 10,000 or something like that. But Lister finds one from Rimmer's mom, and he reads it, because Rimmer can't hold anything, so he has Lister read it. Apparently her handwriting was bad because he said, your dad is dad. Well, of course your dad is dad. And then, oh, he's dead. Your dad is dead. And it kind of sets in, and he goes, well, they all are, right? But it just hits harder because he heard the letter that he was supposed to get a long time ago, 3 million years ago. It also says, because her handwriting was horrible, he passed away peacefully in his Jeep. Sleep. So this is the first time we get the observation deck, which is a little room bubble, observation bubble at the top of the ship, which you see in season 2. I don't think you see it after that. I always thought it was pretty cool. It's kind of like they're just sitting out there. It's where they go and get all deep and philosophical with their thoughts. So Rimmer kind of describes, how getting that letter makes it feel like it happened yesterday, even though it was 3 million years ago. And Lister says, well, you must be kind of tore up about it. You must have really loved your dad. And he's like, I hated him. And we find out that his dad was a horrible nutter who had an obsession with his boys getting into the Space Corps. So much so that, because he didn't get in because he was shorter than regulation height, so he would put his kids on the rack and stretch them to make sure they'd be tall enough. I hear this crazy shit. I don't think we learn yet about Rimmer's brothers, who are all like high flyers in the Space Corps, and he was bringing up the rear and sucked at everything. But you get a start to that where you realize that his obsession with Space Corps is a big thing. And then Cat jumps up, ruins the whole mood. He says, I'm just so hungry, I've got to eat. And Lister goes, shh, Rimmer's dad has died. He goes, well, I prefer chicken. Great little joke there, I thought. Groovy Funky Channel 27 with a hologram reading the news. Rimmer's just sulking, and while the news is on, here's them talking about better than life. When the cat tries to cheer him up, he says, your dad died. Sure, that sucks for you, but it's party time for all the worms. So anyway, Rimmer and Cat and Lister are gonna go play the better than life game. Rimmer's gonna sit and sulk, but while he's sulking on Groovy Funky Channel 27, they talk about the game, and it inspires him because it says, live out your greatest fantasies, blah blah blah. So he changes his mind, decides to join. So they're all going to put on the the bicycle helmet, weird headset things, and jump into the game. Better than life. And now they're in the game. The funny thing is, I heard some behind the scenes stuff. You know, they wanted to show like a tropical beach, but it was filmed in England. And everything was like overcast and windy, and they're like, it looks like shit. You know, we're trying to make it look like a paradise, and it just doesn't look like it. So anyway, they see Marilyn Monroe, and then Rimmer spots Napoleon, and begs him for an autograph. Apparently that's Rimmer's hero. But yeah, you can see his tie is flipped up. Like, basically it was super windy and just a horrible day for them to try to do this shoot. So basically you just think something and boom, there it is. It's based off your thoughts. I don't know why the cat didn't get his own motorcycle, but budget constraints, I'm sure. So Rimmer's trying to think of a car. He thinks of this, what is that, an Aston Martin or something? Or a Jaguar, old school, I don't know. Bentley, don't know. I don't know British cars. And he also sees Magruder, the one woman he had a little fling with, at least that's what we hear. He says, we're one thing away from perfection. And bing, fuzzy dice appear. So anyway, they're at a restaurant, enjoying their cocktails and crazy food, whatever the hell they want. I think he got caviar vindaloo. Find out the cat licks people when they give him food. Like a cat. And he says, you sure you wouldn't want those fish cooked? And he goes, oh, I like my food to move. So Rimmer comes and meets them, tells them why he was late, basically because he was getting it on with Magruder. And he says, good God, I love this game. So they're describing all the cool things, like they've got their own rooms. The cat's like, I've got a wardrobe that's like crosses an international time zone. Rimmer says he's got a bed shaped like a guitar. But while this is going on, you hear somebody sing, Admiral! Admiral! He's like, oh, good lord, Admiral, big deal. And then you find out that Rimmer's the Admiral. Admiral Rimmer. So-and-so would like to invite you to their table for, dinner and port, So, yeah. And he gets champagne out of a pint glass and chucks it. So Rimmer is doing all the elbow rubbing, hobnobbing that he's always wanted to do with men of stature, and he's telling stories, and they're just hanging on every word. A kid, little pipsqueak, comes to get his book signed, called My Incredible Career by Admiral J. Rimmer. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he sees his dad. And his dad ruins his whole fantasy. Basically saying, I'm sorry to interrupt you and all your admiral chummies. But then he says, you're a complete and total smeghead. And that is the start of the decline for the game for Rimmer. Because everything is based off your own imagination. So Kat and Lister are playing golf. Kat knows nothing about golf, except for how to dress, apparently. Like an old Scottish golfer. They get drinks served to them. Marilyn Monroe's in bed waiting for Kat, and he's turning her down because he's tired of her shit again, I guess. Holly shows up and asks them how they're doing. They just talk more about the game and how awesome everything is. Kat says he found a new woman. She's half woman, half fish. And Polly goes, I thought it would be the other way around, like a woman on top and a fish on bottom. He's like, nah, that's the stupid way. So as they're having a great time with their enjoying better than life, Rimmer shows up. Magruder's has 16 kids and is pregnant with more, and that's his new fantasy. And basically his mind is turned on him. He explains it like it's rejecting the game. It can't handle like good things happening to me. Next thing you know, the guy from Outland Revenue shows up and says you owe, however many £1,000,000. And he's like, and you have to pay it now or I'm going to break your thumbs. And Rimmer and Lister and Cat are going, well, we've got the money. We can make money. And he's like, no, I keep imagining your money disappearing. So he's just like declining, imagining horrible things. And it just gets worse and worse. Until there's a tarantula crawling up his pants. They're buried on a beach, smeared with jelly, waiting for killer ants to show up. And he's doing it to everyone else. And he's like, I'm sorry. My brain is doing this. I can't help it. So you learn Rimmer's kind of a fucked individual. So at the end, you find out Rimmer is an admiral and all this crazy stuff, but they're still in the game. And Outland Revenue is going to break his thumbs. Game over. And that is the end of Better Than Life. Fun episode. Hints at a lot of... I don't know, I grew up watching Brain Scan, one of my favorite movies of all time. And if you haven't seen Brain Scan, you really should. And it reminds me of that. Like, Brain Scan was so cool because it was like an immersive video game. But then he finds out it's real, but then you find out it's just a game, and it's all that kind of stuff. Kind of Total Recall, all these kind of things. It has all those elements. And I like stuff like that. The first story in Shove has elements of all those things. And I think the main reason, though, it's important to the lore of Red Dwarf was first you find out Rimmer's more fucked up than you realize. You find out that his relationship with his father is more fucked up than you realize. And yeah, just kind of sets the tone from there. And I thought it was a fun episode as far as seeing what they would imagine in their desires and stuff. I thought it kind of odd that Lister wouldn't imagine Chrissy Kachansky. So you got Rimmer imagining Magruder. You've got Kat imagining Marilyn Monroe, and then later a fish woman. But the whole running thing behind the show half the time is Lister's obsession with Chrissy Kachansky. And I would have thought he would have imagined her. Maybe they couldn't get the actress, whatever, or maybe they just didn't think of it, but they kind of sell it as Lister's more virile and horny, randy, as they would say, than Rimmer. But he doesn't, take advantage of that in the game, even though later he plays these AI sports games and does that. So it is what it is. A good episode, second in the second in the season 2 series, and yeah. Other than that, I don't know. I don't have much more. I could get all philosophical like I do sometimes at the end. I don't know that I will. But part of it being, I'm so introspective right now, but I'm also so burnt out with all the reality of change. But with every car drive I go on, I'm like, this might be the last time you see this, here in Spokane, or this might be the last time you see so and so. And I go, yeah, whatever. But Spokane's been a a mixed bag for me, to tell you the truth. I've had a lot of really good memories here, and some of the most painful memories I've ever had here. So it'll be interesting to wipe that slate clean as far as like geographically, I guess. Start over, as it were, in Springfield, Missouri. We'll see how that goes. But I'm very excited for the new job. I mean, I've got a bit of trepidation, just not really trepidation, but anxiety, good kind of anxiety. You know, like I really want to just get to where I'm comfortable. I hate the first week or so of a new job. It's like you don't know exactly what's expected. You're trying to read the room. You're trying to like also come in with proving your worth, things like that. So it's just I'm just anxious. I want to get going on it for several reasons. For one, I do want to get going on it. I'm excited for the job itself, but I want to get to the point where I feel comfortable. You know, there's a level that kind of sink in, and it takes a while. Some jobs it takes a long time, but where you kind of sink in and you're part of the team. You're not just the new guy anymore. You know, that kind of thing. So I want to get there as fast as possible because I hate that whole first phase. Ugh. But I'm excited for the, just to like absorb it all and like really get an idea of like how I'm gonna tackle the job. How I'm gonna approach it. Because I have like all these ideas, but until I'm in there, getting my hands dirty, I don't know. So anyway, I'm excited about that, about turning a new leaf. Because like I said, Spokane's definitely been a mixed bag. It's, well, I'd say some of the hardest moments in my entire life happened in this area. Because I went through a divorce here. This is where I was living when my mom passed. This is where I was living when my dad passed. I never went through any of those kind of like the bigger, more traumatic, at least personally and emotionally, kind of things that I went through in life as a younger man. As a younger man, it's all hope and optimism, and you just don't deal with as much. I mean, you do, but none of them were as big as, like, those three events were, like, my big three events. But and then I've talked about this before, but, I was engaged for a while, and then, like, the change of that, like, planning a future with somebody in Spokane, and then ending that relationship, and then going, okay, we're back to making decisions solo again, to the girl's mom being like, I want to move to Missouri, to okay, and then moving my mindset to Missouri. Just been a lot of change. Not to mention that all of that kind of like coincided with jumping into this comic book world, and I'd been working on Shove for a little while before, but going forward with it, throwing my hat in the ring, hooking up with James, and like trying to build a publishing company, and trying to do it with so much in flux all the time. But I was very thankful for everybody I've come across that has like been part of this journey. And yeah, we're on the doorstep of just having Unconditional Shove finished. Everybody's books are in hand, and I want the best possible response. I think people are going to love it. I think it's great, but but even if everybody hated it, at least I could say I did it. At least I can go, it's beginning to end, into people's hands. Did it. I know everyone's not going to hate it. There's probably going to be a few people who like some things and maybe critical of others. That's fine. But yeah, I don't think everyone's going to hate it. I think the most part people are really going to enjoy it. So, but nonetheless, like I said, even if everyone did hate it, I would at least be able to hang my hat on, I did it. You know, um, I threw it out there. I made it out. You know, I've been talking about comics since I was a kid. You know, like I would love to do that someday and make my own little comic books, and you know, hand them to people, and they'd be like, "That's cool," you know. But it's not the same as when you get better at your skill and your trade of doing it, and then go, okay, maybe I'm ready now, or I got to start somewhere. Even if I'm not ready, I got to just do it. I got to start somewhere, and to go out there and do what you got to do, and find out that people were really there were some people who were actually excited to get it. Blows me away. It's humbling, and I'm super thankful for everybody who's been a part of the process. So yeah, with that, I'll wrap up the video. I got more shit to do, and it's gonna be even busier all the way up until like I'm on the road, and then once I'm on the road, I'm like, okay, well that's that. Now I've got this 3-4 day drive. 4 if I stay in Colorado for a little bit. And that's the other half. Just to like arrive in a new city, get settled in there, just to start a new job and get settled. So it's like it's a lot of change, which I'm excited for. But the road trip leading up to it, I'm like, oh man, it's gonna be exhausting, and then I'm gonna get to a new place and just crash. So I'm trying to get there 2 days before I start. So that way I do have some time to crash and just gather myself from a stupid road trip, which will be fun. I keep talking shit about it. It'll probably be fun. I mean, sort of. It'll be boring and fun at the same time. I wish there was someone around here who wouldn't mind flying back, who would just be like, hey, I'll drive with you, just so I had somebody to hang out with. But nonetheless, I do enjoy being alone as well, so it'll be fine. It'll be fine. So anyway, with that, I'm going to end the video. Last video in Spokane. Weird to be making videos without my normal map of the world. The world. Boom. The world. Or boom. If you know Dana Carvey's shtick on Saturday Night Live, you might recognize his Mickey Rooney impersonation. Yeah. So with that, next time you'll see me, I'll probably be on the road, or already in my current new destination, one or the other. But if I'm not on streams, it's because of that. But I might be jumping on them from my phone at a hotel or something. I don't know. Who knows? We'll see how things go. Anyway, this is Odin. Hope you're doing awesome. Whatever you're up to, do it with power and courage and integrity. Integrity above all. Do everything with integrity. And a great care for the loved ones around you. All good things. And until next time, we'll see you.